Hey guys, we are moving on to topic 9 today, and that is solving linear equations and adding and subtracting fractions. So I'm going to show you how to add and subtract algebraic fractions, as well as solve an equation that includes algebraic fractions. Good luck, and I hope you enjoy.
Okay, let's get started. So here we have two algebraic fractions, 2x over 9 plus 5x over 3. And just like you do with normal fractions, in order to add them, you have to get the denominators the same so that you can add your numerators. So in order to get these denominators the same, you have to find the lowest common denominator. What that is the lowest multiple that these two denominators have in common. So what I always like to do is check if the smaller number goes into the larger number. So does 3 go into 9 evenly? Yes, it does. So that tells us our lowest common denominator is 9. So now, in order to add these, we need to get the denominators the same. The 9 stays as is. The 3 we have to multiply by 3. But what you do to the bottom, you have to do to the top. So we multiply the 5x by 3 as well. Let's see what we have now. We have 2x over 9. That doesn't change because the denominator is 9, plus 5x times 3 is 15x over 9. So now that our denominators are the same, we simply add the numerators. So 2x plus 15x gives us 17x over 9. We cannot simplify that. So that is our final answer. Okay, so here we have one that looks slightly more complicated, but it really isn't. It's the same principle. So again, we have to find our lowest common denominator. Okay? Do my little trick. Can 8 go into 12 evenly? No, it cannot. So we know that 12 is not the lowest common denominator. So we need to find a multiple that both of these go into. And if we look at it, we can see that that is going to be 24. 2 times 12 is 24, 3 times 8 is 24. So what we need to do is we need to times 12 by 2, and we need to times the numerator by 2. And over here we need to times 8 by 3 and the numerator by 3. So let's rewrite this. We're going to have 2 times 4x plus 3 divided by 2 times 12 is 24 minus 3 times 2x plus 5 divided by 3 times 8 is 24. Okay, so here we just do the distributive property where we multiply the 2 into the 4x and the 3 and the 3 into the 2x and the 5. So 2 times 4x is 8x, 2 times 3 is 6. So over 24. Now here's something you need to keep in mind. This negative is going to change the signs inside this bracket. So it's a negative 3 that you're multiplying in. So negative 3 times 2x is negative 6x, okay? Negative 3 times 5 is negative 15. Okay, now that the denominators are the same, we can add the numerators. So let's just show our like terms. We have an x over here, 8x, and we have negative 6x. And then we have 6 and negative 15. So now we can add those or subtract them. So 8x minus 6x is going to give us 2x, and 6 minus 15 is going to give us negative 9 over 24. We cannot simplify this, so that is your final answer. Okay guys, here we have another example, except this time we have a constant term. So I'm going to show you what you need to do when you have a constant term. So you just need to turn that constant term. It's going to remain a constant term. We're going to turn it into a fraction by putting it over 1. Okay? And then again, now we all have denominators. All of them have denominators. So we find the lowest common denominator of 2, 4, and 1. So check, can 1 go into 4? Yes, it can. Can 2 go into 4? Yes, it can. So the lowest common denominator is 4. So let's make these denominators the same. We need to multiply 2 by 2 to get it to 4. What you do to the bottom, you do to the top. Here, this 4, the denominator is 4, so that remains the same. And the 1 we need to multiply by 4, as well as the numerator. So this is going to equal 2 times x, 2x over 4, plus 3x over 4, plus 4 times 3 is 12 over 4. Now that we have the denominators the same, we can add the numerators, and again we've got some like terms, so those we can add together. So 2x plus 3x is going to give you 5x plus 12. That 12 is a constant term, does not have an x, does not have a variable, so we cannot add that together. And there we cannot simplify it any further, so there you have your final answer. Okay, here I have another example, and up until now we have been dealing with expressions, but here we have an equation, and you can see that by the equal sign. So this is actually the exact same example we used previously in the previous example, but now we have x over 2 plus 3x over 4 is equal to 3. So I'm going to show you how you would solve for x. We want to find out what x is equal to. So we want to add these two fractions together, and then we want to manipulate the equation to solve for x. So first of all, we need to find the lowest common denominator, which we did work out in the previous example, is 4. So we need to multiply the 2 by 2 to get it to 4, and what you do to the bottom, you have to do to the top. So now we have 2x over 4 plus 3x over 4 is equal to 3. Okay, our denominators are the same, so we can add our numerators. So that gives us 5x over 4 is equal to 3. Now in order to solve this, we need to do the inverse operations to get x on its own. So we have 5x and it is being divided by 4. So to move this 4 over to the other side of the equation, we have to do the inverse of what is happening here. So it's being, the 5x is being divided by 4, so we need to times it by 4. And what you do to the one side, you have to do to the other side. So you times the right-hand side by 4 as well. So here, the 4's are going to divide out. So we have 5x is equal to 3 times 4, which is 12. Okay, now we have the 5 is being multiplied to the x. So the inverse would be to divide. So you divide both sides by 5. So these will divide out. You're going to have x is equal to 12 over 5. 5 does not go into 12 evenly, so that is our final answer.